out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to rock?
We're ready to rock, and we are ready to roll, and we're doing it here on BDST Pop. Yes, sir. See, we got the Pop banner up. So join us right now, whatever might be on your mind. We're going to talk all sorts of things, movies, TV, you name it. We got it for you. Let me get the hideous logo. Well, it's not a hideous logo. I should say let me get the logo off the screen so you get to see my hideous face. I don't have the bright lights on yet because I have enough light from out there, so I'm doing it that way. But hit us up. We're going to jump on here. We're going to talk all things, whatever we want here tonight. We're going to get into some movies. We're going to get into TV. The movie thing right now is big. Just a little bit of a departure from what we usually do here. I got to get Coach Mabry's. What did I do with his email address? But anyway, hit us up in the chat room. We have our chat room up and running, like always. Or you go and send me a request, and I'll shoot you an email, and we will rock on accordingly here on this glorious Friday. Glad to get to the end of the week. I'll tell you that much. It was supposed to be raining. It's not, so that's a disappointment. But any event. I'm trying to get a little, I should have been more organized before I started here. Oh, there we go. There we go. But here we are. Hey, what's up? Let me get it right. Is it Callipy Hernandez? Welcome to Big Dawg Pop. Anything that's on your mind? Join us. Say hello. Let me make sure I get Mabry Girls invited. If anybody wants to jump on, like I said, we're just going to put people on like we did last week. We did it on Thursday last week. We had 8 people on at one time. It was a lot of fun. Please subscribe to the channel. Is it Callipy Hernandez? Did I get it right? I don't want to mispronounce people's names. So there we go. Chat is wide open for you. You're welcome. We're talking, well, just what we say we are, Big Dawg Pop. And we're popping here tonight. So Supergirl came out yesterday. And it's opening up tonight, and it's a complete and utter disaster. It's going to lose tons of money. Hey, Callie, how are you? Welcome. You can call me Rick. But the reviews have been terrible across the board. And that, that's something that I'm so disgusted by as a guy who grew up, and everybody did, right? We watch movies for entertainment. We have fun. I'm going to need to get the light on, aren't I? A little too dark. Yeah. We're good. We're doing really good. But Hollywood is incapable because they don't want to make good stuff anymore. And that is extremely disappointing because it's all about trying to get across agendas and messaging that just don't need to be there. Let me get the light on. I'll be right back. Yeah, that was a bad call. I thought I'd have enough light, but I think it's a little too dark. Hang on. There we go. That's better. But I'm trying to think. I guess I'm excited about the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out. I'm excited about that. Brand new day, like the comic book series. That excites me as a comic book guy, Marvel guy. but a little disappointed about everything else, the output. What's up, Coach Mabry? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. A lot of people tell me they're already out celebrating the weekend, if you know what I mean. They might not be able to jump on.
I've been so busy the last couple of weeks. I knew this weekend I was going to keep it on the low.
I know. It was you know how it is. You get away. I got married, was out for 2 weeks, and then you come back, and it was just like, oh boy, we're doing this again. Here we are. We're right back at you.
My daughter got married 2 weeks ago, and that was a pretty big deal, and was busy. And then last week I went to that single wing clinic, which was basically the whole weekend.
Yeah, I know. You were busy the whole weekend.
Yeah. But I'm glad I did it. Got a chance to catch up with a lot of coaches and meet some new guys or some people that I knew, but I didn't necessarily know. So
it's going to sound like a silly question. Are you actively coaching now at all, or have you just out of it completely?
I got out last year. I hit 2 years ago. I hit year 40 as far as the coaching, and last year the position was there, but I just wasn't into it.
I get it. Well, it's like everything else, man. It's like coaching. I envy, especially today's coaches, because I know just when we're sitting down at Radford, we go through all this crap. It's just like we're just talking about with TV. Everything's changed to the point to where you can't. I know it sounds like get off my lawn, but it's not really. But I can't imagine today being a high school football coach. It's got to be one of the toughest, or any sport, to be honest with you. With all the new rules and with all the politics and with the parental interference, it's a
different game, but it's like anything else. Everything changes, and when you get to that point that you retire, it's time to get out. And I mean, I think cats that were doing this 50 years ago, and they hit that point when they saw how things were changing and all that. And it's like, it's the same thing with teaching. Everybody talks about, oh, kids are so bad and this and that. And, but that's the same stuff they were saying. That's the same stuff they were saying about when we were kids, I mean,
well, this is true.
We were bad. We were, and I can remember my dad.
We were bad. I guess you're right.
Yeah, he was moaning and groaning about everything because times just weren't as great as they were during the 1920s and the Depression. No,
that's true. That's kind of, and I don't ever want to sound like that. Same thing with music, our music as opposed to that music when they grew up. And now exactly. I'm doing the same thing. Yeah.
He was a Flatt and Scruggs, Grand Ole Opry, Wilburn Brothers, Osborne Brothers type of guy, which as a little kid in the 60s and early 70s, I absolutely despised. The Beatles.
Was that what I was going to ask? I was going to ask you when you first discovered music that you liked, was it the Beatles?
Beatles.
The Stones?
My sisters had 45s galore. And of course, they fell in love with the Beatles during their poppy when they first came, and they were doing the more poppier stuff, the more pop top 40 stuff.
Yeah, the early stuff that was really commercially driven and just really not very good, to be honest with you.
And and I started liking the Beatles even more once they started doing, once it was obvious they were doing the heavier drugs.
Exactly.
Because to me, the music was a whole lot better.
That's when they got creative, right?
Exactly. And the stuff they do, I mean, a lot of stuff I've read, the things they were doing in the studio, and they were not a great live band at all.
No.
But they were so innovative and great in the studio that people today are still using methods that the Beatles were using.
Absolutely.
But my dad would talk about the Beatles and the Stones and Devil's music, you're going to hell.
I know.
And I'm like, and now they play it in elevators.
Well, George Martin, the legendary producer, he realized that made them so creative. He would make sure they had a strong supply of the extracurricular fun stuff in the studio when it came recording time.
Yeah.
My dad handed me a bunch of 45s when I was younger too, and he said, "You learn these, you'll enjoy these, and then you'll be set." You know, to his credit, he was big on country, but he liked all sorts of R&B and 50 Elvis and Buddy Holly and all that stuff.
My dad was a big radio guy. Obviously, that's what they grew up with, and that's what they had. And he was a World War II vet, and and I think the only Major League Baseball team that Armed Services Radio would give him would be the Yankees anyway. So, of course, he loved the Yankees, but everything would be off the radio. He listened to, when my brother was playing at Christiansburg in the late 60s, he would sit in the kitchen for the road games, and he would find them on the radio, and he would sit in there and listen. He'd have his alcohol hidden in certain spots, and he would sit in a chair for literally 3 hours listening to the game. In the summer, he would set up our pop-up camper, and he ran he ended up making like the world's longest extension cord to get power into the camper. And he took this radio down, and he would either listen to whatever ball game was on, or Saturday night, 7:00, Grand Ole Opry.
Grand Ole Opry.
Right. And I mean, he set the clock by that. And now I find myself, I like hard rock. I like a lot of different stuff, but now I find myself listening to Flat and Scruggs.
You're searching it out. Yeah.
I was watching the old TV show the other day, the Wilburn Brothers. They used to have TV was like when I was in the 60s, TV was very young. It was 10 years old as far as people having it. And we had a little bit black and white TV, and all the channels 10 and 7, I say all the channels, it was 2. And every once in a while on a good day, we could get channel 13. They would put, they had these country music shows in that syndicated hour from like 7 to 7:30, where they would always have syndicated shows and stuff like that. And it would be Porter Wagner, the Wilburn Brothers, the Osborne Brothers, Arthur Smith, and Daddy just, oh God, he ate that alive. He loved it.
My earliest memory was Hee Haw. Grew up on Hee Haw.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff, going to Lakeside and seeing Conway Twitty, whoever else was down there, Kenny Rogers at the West Virginia State Fair, stuff like that, I went
twice to see George Jones, and he didn't show up either time. So,
gee, I wonder why.
He carried the tradition.
Wonder why.
He earned the nickname.
My dad actually later on liked Guns N' Roses. Well, he liked Paradise City. It was such a one-off, just a weird thing. When he heard the song, he said, "What is that?" And I thought he was going to give me a hard time.
Yeah,
that's the band Guns N' Roses. He liked the name because he's a big hunter, and he just liked that song. And every time he would turn that up. I like that one. I'm like, wow, really? Okay, that's good. Rare thing about my dad, Guns N' Roses.
I don't think my dad would have liked any of the
one song anyway.
Any of the rock. And then somebody says, "Well, he would have liked Billy Strings." I said, "No, he wouldn't have." Because he would be one of the guys. He's not playing traditional.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
So that one would have probably not worked.
I listened to a little bit of Billy Strings with Morris gave me some links. It was okay. It was fine. I liked it. I get why people like him.
The thing with him is live.
Okay.
3 hours. He's a bluegrass bass. he makes young people go look up and see who Doc Watson is and who
Bill
Monroe is.
There you go.
And he's rejuvenated, and that's what happens. He's keeping bluegrass alive, even though the traditionalists like to moan and groan and say that's not bluegrass, because he's a guitarist extraordinaire. You got to understand, he grew up with a bluegrass father, and when he was a teenager, he played in death metal bands.
Billy Strings did.
Billy Strings. He can play, he can pick up electric, he can play any guitar there is. And with his pedals at his shows, he can give you any tone. He can give you rock, all with the acoustic, with the pedals.
I like that.
So he's playing the pedals. And you got to understand, too, he's a jam band. So, he closed out the Charlottesville show before he broke his leg. Right before he broke his leg, he did a song he did called Hide and Seek. And then he went into Blackfoot's Train. Then he went back into Hide and Seek, and he ended it 32 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll talk about Billy Strings, Morris. Morris knew we were talking about Billy Strings.
That's exactly the right time to come on.
Billy Strings, the man, Morris.
David's giving me some info.
Karen and I have seen him 4 times.
I've seen him 27.
Whoa.
27?
That's awesome.
I was watching Billy Strings when he was playing in front of 50 and 75 people at the Reeves Theater in Martinsville, and opening for the infamous String Dusters in the Harvester. When he was busking at Floyd Fest, wasn't even on the card, and he's sitting there busking as people walk by, and he was doing it with the clawhammer banjo.
Wow.
That's cool.
So, my daughter, she's a music buff too. She lives in Christiansburg, but she saw him kind of like you're talking about at Floyd Fest. She goes to Floyd Fest. I think she used to help there as well. But we have St. Augustine Amphitheater, which is probably about a 3,500, 4,000 seat arena, a small covered. Most of it's covered, and it's next to Red Rocks. It's probably the most, it's the most unique, and certainly the one we like the best. But he's been there 4 times, I think. I'm looking over because I always get confirmation from Karen because she holds all the information that's supposed to be in my head. I tell you, and I guess you'll probably agree with this. I mean, this is including Rick Hendricks, and he's the most talented guitarist that I've known in my lifetime.
Wow. That's high praise, man.
And here's what you got to understand is when they do their show, he did 6 shows straight in Asheville. He's been really, really big on going to Asheville because the economy there, where they've just got wiped out from the floods 2.5 years ago. And he's been going, and he goes every year, and then he basically gives like half of his earnings to the city, basically.
Does he really? Okay.
And they say it's like a $15 million generation of income in the city when he's there. But anyway, he did 6 shows there. 6 shows. I forget how many songs. Every show of his is right at 3 hours. And there were no repeats in 6 shows. Think about that.
Wow.
No repeats.
That's impressive.
Most of the time, I think here he does 3 back-to-back shows. We only go to 1, but I know there's several songs. Dustin the Baggy, Richard Petty. There's several of his songs that you want to hear, but if you don't get the particular night he does it, you're not going to hear it because he does a different set list every night. And tomorrow, Karen and I are going to see. We've probably seen 50 concerts here since we started the migration from Fort Lauderdale, moved up here. So tomorrow night we're going to see one of my all-time favorite musicians, Vince Gill. He's going to be there tomorrow night. I hope he tells some of his he tells these stories about his dad and growing up in Oklahoma. His dad was a judge and a farmer, and he'll start telling those stories about his dad wearing the overalls, and he's got like 2 packs of cigarettes in that center pocket, and he just sat there smoking cigarettes and telling stories.
Is he
And
still with Amy Grant? Are they still together?
yep, far as I know, yeah.
They are. Okay.
Okay. The next month we're going. We
for
also have the Point Vedra Concert Hall. Next month we're going to see Billy Bob Thornton and the Boxmasters
At the Harvest. Oh no, he's going to be
It's
at the
called the-
Harvest.
Yeah, it's an old converted church. It's an awesome venue, but it's called the Point Vedra Concert Hall. Much smaller venue than 3,500, 4,000 is not large, but it probably seats 1,000, something like that. By the way, David, I'm one of these people that look up useless information, as my daughter said. Well, hell, it's useless to you. I thought it was pretty good to me.
Useful information.
But I look up. So anyway, I was on the other night, and I thought, David, maybe I was pecking around and all that work you're doing, and I think Rick, you've mentioned David before in the work he does, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
all of those old, I guess there were 8mm tapes or something you found, and you putting all those back together of the old New River all the way back. That's an awesome work. That is. It'll be well received and well watched by a lot of people of old New River District people.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, it's so cool. Yeah.
It was when I came back to Naris 3 years ago. Kelly Lowe opened up an old closet back in the back, old JV locker room, and I looked and I just saw all these canisters, and I'm like, holy crap! And then I went and read them because they were marked and everything, and I saw 1960, and I'm like, that's Harry Ragsdale. And then 60, 61, 62, that's the 3 undefeated years. That's Dan Fligger, All-American. You know, that's just so the plan was, and I asked Kelly, I said, what are you going to do with this? He goes, we got no clue. We don't know what to do with it. I said, well, as of now, they're officially mine. And he laughed. He said, do what you need to do. And my only plan was to get the 60, 61, 62 Nares. And then I got a call from, I got a text from Dave Christ. And then Kevin Saunders was telling me, Kevin Saunders, who went to Radford High School, was saying, I know good and well Radford's got a closet with a ton of stuff in it. And Cecil Phillips and a bunch of them were telling me about it. And then all of a sudden, after I talked to Dave, Mikey Chris called, said, we have a closet. You have access to anything you want. So my little plan turned into a real expensive,
very expensive
time-consuming venture. Yes, but I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. I got to
I don't think it's cheap to get those converted, is it?
I'm about $6,000 in the hole right now on that project, but I keep doing it. So
The labor of love, man.
it's sort of like that skit on Saturday Night Live where everybody's hitting themselves in the hand with the hammer and then telling a joke or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's sort of what I'm doing. You know, hell, it's only money. You know,
It's
you
only
die,
money, for God's sakes. Yes.
You die, somebody else is gonna spend it. So
Yeah, I haven't seen any U-Hauls in funerals yet.
true,
As goofy as this world is, I'll probably see one of those hell before it's over.
true. But no, it's been fun, and it was good to be able to last week at that single wing coaches clinic that I went to. I went just because Steve was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and we knew that. Steve didn't know it. And when I got there, Steve Wilson, the AD at Giles, and the John Mintier, who's the head of the National Single Wing Coaches Association, came to me and asked me, would you induct Harry Ragsdale into the thing? And I said, say no more. I said that to me, that's an honor, you know, and that was enjoyable. And to be able to, you know, put Steve and Harry into that Hall of Fame, I thought was pretty neat. So
It's funny the
Yes.
story you told last week about him. What was the story you told me about? You had a child, and then Steve Ragsdale was trying to explain to you how
when
long
I
it
told him
took
we
to
were
get the damn
expecting,
post office back. And I thought, hell, by the time he told you how long it would take to get the post office back, you could have went to the post office, grocery store, probably several other
true.
places.
But the thing is, it might just be the slowness of the voice or whatever. But once he starts, you're hooked. You're
Oh
hooked.
yeah, we find that every month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he sounds like
Can
he's
you
still in the
imagine?
huddle.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine the first time you had him on the show?
No.
If you would have tried to have cut him off
Well, I got to be honest.
because of time,
I never thought we were going to have him, because when we did our run through, he had all sorts of trouble. So we had to sit there, and I was on the phone with him separately. We were trying to get the camera, and then when the camera came on, he was like, "Oh, there you are!" And then it had no audio. Yeah, it was a lot, but yeah, he's now he always just reaches out randomly. Yeah, and he just reaches out to me randomly and tells me how much it's meant to him to be able to come on and how much he looks forward to it. So
your
it's cool.
viewership would have rioted if you would have cut him off.
Oh yeah, you just go. Now I just don't schedule anybody behind him. I just let it go, and then if we have some time, then we'll just talk it out. If not.
But you had somebody, I don't know who was supposed to come on after him, and I think that didn't they text you or something and said, "No, you can't. You got to let him keep going."
Yeah, it was David Smith.
Okay.
At that time, yeah, and he was like, "No, man, you're good. We'll do this tomorrow. You know, we'll do it tomorrow," and that's what we did. Hey, good news is I'm getting a lot of people responding, Morris, to the bash on the 18th. So I think we're going to have a decent crowd. It won't be massive, but I think we'll have some peeps over there. So.
I was going to ask you too, if we get some sort of unofficial head count. You're always going to have done things like these before. You're always going to get 20% less, 20% more, but at least we can get within the 20%. If we get some sort of just unofficial,
yeah,
I've got to let her know. She said 10 days out if we want food. I think I mentioned that to you.
Okay.
I offered her 2 drink tickets for everybody this morning. David, Coach, I don't know if you were on there or not, but Jen, I think Rick had her pretty well talked into coming, especially once he said there was more
free drinks. I said free drinks. Morris going to buy your drinks, Jen.
I saw the text. And he said, "Wait a minute, it's only a 3 drink limit or something."
Oh no! Let's get this. Don't get this twisted. It's 2. But
that's right. Well, for Jen though.
Yeah, I guess there's got to be an exception somewhere. But the food truck, you always need food. And,
maybe a little. I don't know what it would be. What do they have? I mean, I guess the regular bowling alley fare. Is that what we?
I think so. I sent you the appetizer list, which you said.
That's right. I'll look at it and see. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna keep plugging it and advertising it. We'll see, and it'll be good for them too because they work their tails off. Man, this thing they're doing tomorrow with the backpack is really cool. They start at 10 a.m. They're going all day, and anything they raise, they're giving back to all the school systems in the valley. That's really cool. That's really, really cool.
Very easy. Amy is the one I talked to the gentleman. I forget his name you gave me, but Amy was very
Terry and Amy.
Very kind, very accommodating.
Yeah, Terry is more of just I'm here at work. Let me do my thing and Amy's kind of the PR. Yeah.
They got a good thing going on right there. I took my grandkids over there last time I was in. We have pizza and they played to get the little car and then play the games and all that. And they got there's a lot of noise in there when they have all those machines going, those kids playing.
Prometheus in the house. What's going on, Promo? Bringer of Fire. He's here. Good stuff. I don't know if I think Wayne was busy tonight. I think he told me he was busy tonight. Yeah.
Morris, you see this poster right here, don't you?
I do.
That's the Billy Strings Christmas show from Nashville from
That's cool.
3 years ago. No. Longer than that. It was 2026. 2019, I think. 2019 or 2021.
So you've traveled a lot to see him as well.
Yeah. I've traveled to see a few people. And Billy Strings is not the high for me as far as live stuff. So,
did you go see Samantha Fish a lot too, David, Coach?
I've seen Samantha Fish probably about.
I remember seeing you post
15, 18. In fact, there's a poster there.
Okay, I thought so.
From one of her shows. If you ever saw the movie Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, they did a play on that with her standing over top of the city of Buffalo.
Really?
Really? It's made like that poster from Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
That's
Again,
cool.
There's some of the nerdy stuff where I qualify into this culture stuff too.
Well,
I know that movie.
That's good. That's okay.
Okay. I tell you what, that girl can play. I've never seen her live, but I've seen videos of just watching her play lead guitar. Good Lord.
I was at a show. I took my daughter. She wanted to see this Beatles cover band at the Harvester. And the Harvester has a downstairs section that maybe 100 people can go down. Didn't know anything about it. I went out to go to the bathroom and I heard something. And I just started walking and I walked down and I was like, whoa. And I think when she, and of course, she's got the hook, the whole Marilyn Monroe look-alike thing. And that's what she was pushing. But then I watched her play and I was like, this is incredible. And then I got on YouTube. And when you get on YouTube, then you really see, and then
you're down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Then you start looking and see, okay, where am I going to drive to? Where are we going to go? And what's funny, what I like, cool thing about bands like that is you tell your friends and they don't have a clue.
I know.
And you drag them to one, and they're like, oh shit, this is it. This is what we want, Yep. And there's a band now. There's a hard rock band I like, and it's three sisters from Mexico, The Warning. And they started out as little kids, tiny kids, and they covered Metallica's Sandman, Inner Sandman. And the dad recorded it and put it on YouTube because it was too big a file to send. He wanted his parents to see it.
Oh, okay.
But he couldn't send it because the file was too big. So they put it on YouTube. Well, 26 million hits later, and Metallica responded to it, and they were talking about how the drummer was just incredible, and I said all of them were incredible, but the drummer especially. And I took some friends to see them, and they sell out Europe. They sell out 10 and 20,000 seat places in Europe. Mexico, they're from Mexico. And when they play the United States, it's more 3,000 to 4,000 seat things. And sadly for the United States, it's old pervy guys my age that are going to see them because, and I'd like to think it's 90% because they're playing a music that young people aren't playing anymore.
Well, yeah, 100%.
And 100%. But the other 10, 15%, because
they're going for different reasons, is what you're saying.
And they're not hard on the eyes, and that's the other thing. But
three Mexican boys sounds like I've seen them several times. Lost Lonely Boys. They used to travel with Santana quite a bit, but they're awesome too. Billy Strings, boy, it's almost like a Grateful Dead following. He has that, all the tie-dyed T-shirts and old hippies that the women have tattoos that Robin Williams said one time, said, you can get that tramp stamp on your back, but he said, I want to tell you, when you get older, it's going to look like a lobster chasing the sunset down the beach somewhere on a big screen on your back.
Another thing about Billy Strings, John Mayer was playing with Dead and Company after Jerry Garcia passed, And John Mayer would have his own stuff that he had commitments for the record company and stuff like that. They would get Billy Strings to come in and sub for him. That's the warning.
I'm in, baby.
Hadn't heard a note, and you're already in.
I'm in. Let's go.
Hey, go to that YouTube rabbit hole tonight, and it is massive. They've got like 7 albums already, and they're all in their early 20s. And
that's the warning. Is that the Mexican? I thought you said
Mexican Sisters.
Oh,
that's
sisters?
the song. Yeah,
they're sisters.
Or the album. Yeah, yeah, that's them. That's them. Here's another picture. Any picture you find is going to be just fine. By the way, doesn't really matter. Yeah, yeah.
But
Prometheus says, y'all ever heard of the Yonder Mountain String Band?
Love Yonder.
Oh, look at this. That's great.
Ask Prometheus, Yonder 1.0, Yonder 2.0, or Yonder 3.0.
David's like, that's great.
The Jeff Austin Yonder is one of the greatest jamgrass bands ever, right up there with Sam Bush and the New Grass Revival.
Saw him at the Lyric in Blacksburg. Wow, that's cool.
I've seen Yonder probably about 18, 19 times at different phases.
That's cool.
But I was telling you about Billy Strings. He filled in for John Mayer and the Dead. He also filled in, there's a heavy metal band, you might have heard of them or not, Tool.
Mm-hmm.
He filled in, their guitarist was out. He filled in for him.
I remember Tool. Yeah.
Yeah, playing with them. That's how versatile he is.
I think Billy Strings, he was in like those grunge rock bands in the beginning.
He was in a death metal band.
That's pretty funny.
But the thing is, like I said, he plays the one acoustic guitar, and then he'll occasionally pick up a banjo. But the one acoustic guitar, and he's got the pedal board and he can make the guitar, he can sound like Eddie Van Halen, or he can sound like Doc Watson. It's, with those pedals and everything, and it's incredible to see. And that's the stuff that the traditional bluegrass people, don't like.
Yeah, if you tell me you saw Doc Watson, David, I'm already impressed, but I'm really going to be impressed soon.
Never saw Doc. But I will tell you a story. Guy I went to high school with, Jack Henselwood, played in Doc Watson's band. And Billy Strings did 3 shows in Winston-Salem. In the middle show, I went to all 3 shows, Winston-Salem and Lawrence Job. And the middle show was the first and the third shows were Billy String shows. The middle show was a Doc Watson 100th birthday celebration. And he had Jack Henselwood, who I went to high school with, knew Jack well. He had him on stage with him, and he had like Molly Tuttle and Brian Sutton and all these different cats came out, and it was just a straight bluegrass show in the middle. And then the next night it was took no prisoners the next night.
No, you're a music aficionado.
I was going to say, man, he's just, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's funny, the things you would think, a lot of the trivial things that you get into wouldn't be quite as expensive. So, yeah, I've seen, we were talking about how many people we've seen. If we get into Springsteen, 54.
Wow.
I just did my 54th, and I started that in 1976 at Burris Hall in Blacksburg.
That's a lot.
I saw him once in Greensboro, I believe it was, and Springsteen was playing, and he, how they have those kind of catwalks go around behind the stage, and guys playing guitars, and they're trying to play to all the crowd and all that.
That's when
he come around that thing and missed the stage. He missed the stage and hit a speaker wide open.
Yeah,
lost his guitar. It went
flying.
He got back up and took off again. But now, not to make anything political, but I have no interest. If he'd stick to his music and do all that, I'd be fine. But I'm not going there to listen to a political speech I want to
Well,
go and hear the music.
100%.
I will add this, and then I'll drop off on it. But to me, I like Ted Nugent. I go see him anytime. And last time I saw him, there was almost a 40-minute rant.
Yeah.
And
He'll do the same thing.
I was fine with it. I was fine with it. Because I knew I did my homework, which you don't have to do a lot of homework with Ted or Springsteen, and you know what you're going to get. So, you make the choice to go or you don't.
Exactly.
What's the other who was Hank Jr.? Same thing. So it's not all one end and one side and all that, as it may appear.
No, that's true. And I think what you just said, as long as you're okay with it, I'm just saying for me.
Right. And everybody's got that, and that's fine. And I understand that.
Yeah. We went to see Santana here. And he did that at the end, but his is not, he didn't go full bore into left, right, and all that. His is more all that spiritual and whatever, but he did that. But Kieran had not seen Santana. I'd seen him twice before, but Santana's 80, 79, 80, something like that. And, you never know which could be the last time. And then I guess 2 or 3 weeks later, we went to see Willie Nelson here. He came. He comes here every year. And went to see him. He's 93. And they put the curtain down. He had him come out, set up, and he has, of course, a breathing problem. So, but he worked out well because he would play Trigger, his guitar, and didn't miss a note on that. But you could tell his breathing. He'd grab a towel every now and then and just cough in it or something, and just having a hard time breathing. And when he did, he'd be in the middle of the song. Well, he'd turn the microphone around with the crowd, but they know all the songs, and he'd turn the microphone around. And they'd finish singing it for him. So he knows how to work it or do it. And he got up and walked off the stage as well. 93
years old. Yeah.
When you think about that too, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, they don't need to do it. There's no reason for them to live on a bus and travel all over the country, and they just love doing it.
They can't stop. Yeah, they don't want it. It's who they are. It's like athletes. That's why I used to always get angry. People say, well, he's ruining his legacy. Well, first of all, they're wired differently than us. These musicians, like David, they're wired differently. That's who they are. I don't have a problem at all with anybody. If they're that competitive, so what if they're in their 40s or their legacy was with another team and they still want to play until they get out of their system? It doesn't bother me.
When you've lived in a lifetime with just total adulation, it's hard. I mean, and I can't imagine it at all. But I'm sure it's hard to turn that off and all of a sudden live a calm or normal life. I think that's probably the hard thing. I know, Rick, I've heard you talk a little bit about the old school pro wrestling and all that. And a lot of pro wrestlers have a hard time. I think our boy, the Nature Boy, I think he did, man, a major issue with that. And
he does. Yeah. He did it way too long. Good Lord. He retired too many times. His retirement was so perfect. The first one, the right one, right? Remember when he picked Shawn Michaels to end it, and he did, and he told him he was sorry. That's emotional this day when you see that clip. Tells him he loves him, and he pinned him, and he kicked the shit out of him. It looked great. It looked great, but he pins him, and he kisses him on the forehead. He has to get out of the ring because Shawn Michaels is crying. It's very, if you haven't seen it, it's very emotional. And, that should have been his out, but I don't know how many times he came back, 4 or 5 times.
I started watching that stuff probably in the mid 60s. Rip Hawk, Sweet Hansen.
Sweet Hansen, I remember that day. Yeah.
The Anderson brothers, Johnny Weaver, George Becker.
Johnny Weaver. My granddad loved Johnny Weaver. Yeah.
Brute Bernard, the Missouri Mauler, Skull Murphy. All that. And I watched it through like probably early 20s, and then I just grew out of it, I reckon, and all that. And then I saw the stuff like WWF was doing, which was just, and I know this is going to sound weird. That's my dog growling. But the WWF just was so cartoonish to me.
Yeah.
After watching, what was the local NWA stuff, the Crockett stuff from the 60s and 70s and all that. And I just sort of gave up on it after that. But I was around when Flair got started and everything. I met Jerry Briscoe one time, and I always kidded him. I said, I used to like the good guys until the day I saw your dumb ass bend over because Gary Hart dropped a $20 bill and you bent over to pick it up, and Rip Hawk kicked the shit out of you and pile drived you on the floor. I said, if you're that stupid, I need to pull for the bad guy. And he laughed. And
the
he
heels
laughed.
are definitely better. Yeah, the heels are definitely better.
I'm glad I could have an influence on you.
Yeah. Jimmy Valiant.
Rick,
yeah.
There's to bring the two back together, there's a video with Willie Nelson and Billy Strings together called California Sober.
Yeah.
And it's talking about smoking weed instead of liquor and being California sober. And it's a great video. It's on Willie's bus. Willie's bus apparently is infamous for smoking weed with Toby Keith and all that. But it's a great song, too. California Sober.
What was the first concert you guys saw ever?
What counts as a concert? I don't want to count when I went to the West Virginia Fair and stuff like. I guess I have to. I guess
if you saw a musical artist live,
probably Lakeside.
Lakeside.
It was probably Lakeside Amusement Park. Who was it? It was it Conway? No, I tell you what,
a Hall of Famer.
May have been Johnny Cash. Somebody like that. It was Whaley. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody like that. I was so young.
Used to have good shows there. I'm going to tell you my story as quick as I can because I always do this. David, I'll ask me, what's the first concert you ever saw? Back in '74, I was 14.
I got to think about it.
And
you and I are around the same
Leonard
age.
Skinner they were the band. And Sweet Home Alabama it was all over the airwaves then. And all that, and down Spruce Run or in Newport, there's a little bit older than me, a girl named Linda Sparks. She said, well, we got to go see Leonard Skinner. So we all got tickets. We'll love to still have the ticket going to the Salem Civic Center. So we all get tickets, all of us Newport, Spruce Runnians, we get together and go to the concert. So we go into the concert, Salem Civic Center. Leonard Skinner, of course, they have a backup band. They're coming out and they're playing. And they played a little while, and then all the boos started. Booing, get them off stage. We want to see Leonard Skinner. So keep booing, keep doing all that in a weird band to us. Little guy running around in shorts. The backup band was their first trip to the U.S. AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Oh, wow.
We didn't know who the hell they were. Nobody knew. Well, none of America knew them then. And we were booing them off stage. We want to see Leonard Skinner. Just like AC/DC. It's probably one of the most iconic bands ever.
Right.
Yeah, get him out of here.
So that was the Bon Scott days, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Bon Scott.
It was the original AC/DC. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Everybody has an opinion, but the Bon Scott AC/DC was to me was the best.
100%.
Then after a while, it's like Angus was saying. They said, "How do you respond to people when they say you've made 11 albums that all sound the same?" And he said, "No, they're wrong. We've made 12 albums that all sound the same." This was my first show. I don't know if it all comes out backwards or not, but
Black Oak, Arkansas.
I remember them.
1973.
Wow, that's awesome.
At the Salem Civic Center.
That is so cool, man.
Jim Dandy to the rescue.
So you're smart, David. You kept a ticket. I didn't.
I saved a good majority, but I've lost a ton too because sadly concerts, for some odd reason, always seem to team up with alcohol and chicanery and all sorts of things. And sometimes
debauchery.
Debauchery.
Yes.
What's your problem? Is there a problem you have with that?
Prometheus saw the police. Wow. That's impressive, man.
That's always a fun question, David. What's the first major concert you ever saw? It's always a good question.
Mine was Kiss. I went with my friends to see Kiss down at the Roanoke Civic Center, like 78, 79. Can't remember. Something like that.
That's not a bad first one either.
It was Kiss. I remember that vividly.
Sorry?
My second one was the Doobie Brothers, and Heart opened for them. And this was before anybody knew who Heart was.
If you had to listen to it on loop, you mean? Yeah. Another good question, David, that sometimes this is probably
Statler Brothers.
Liquid encouragement when you ask the question, but I always, hey man, you're stranded on an island, you got the best speakers in the world, and you have to listen to a loop of one band forever. What would that band be?
One band, and that's it. Nothing else.
You got to pick one band, all their songs, but you got to get one band, and that's all you're going to listen to from now on.
Billy Strings.
Queen for me.
I think it'd be Leonard. It goes back to the beginning. I think it'd be Leonard Skinner for me because Leonard Skinner.
That's hard.
Almost every album they have. There's a couple songs you may throw out, but almost all the songs have got that Leonard Skinner beat to it. They got great lyrics, and that was I thought it used to be Neil Young, and maybe it's him getting goofy too, but he had some great songs. One of my favorites is Unknown Legend. Love that song.
His political thinking gave you Sweet Home Alabama.
True.
And his writing gave you that. And that was a great, I reckon
Skinner's response to Neil Young.
Well, they mentioned him in a song or two, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like sort of like the hip hop. I hear about these hip hop where they diss each other and all that mess. Not that I could tell you who's who or anything. Much respect. If you're a musician, you're a musician. You might not like it, but if you go out and you're able to be a success in it and do some things, you're doing something right. So much respect, even though probably won't be on my playlist or anything. But
who, Neil Young?
No, Neil's on.
Oh, Neil's on. Oh, you mean Skinner? Okay, I got you.
And so is Skinner.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Neil's definitely. He's a great songwriter, musician.
Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, we're getting all good answers here. Jeff's daughter, 21, says Fleetwood Mac is her favorite band. That's
all
cool.
right. And here's a question on Fleetwood Mac: Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac, or Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac? I mean, two different bands almost.
It is Stevie Nicks for me because I didn't know Peter Green till I went back and listened. I never knew their stuff while he was there. I was later on when
I think my favorite song,
Lindsay and Stevie,
of them is "Oh Well," and that's a Peter Green
song. Yeah,
I
know that
Peter
song.
Green song.
They're both good. I mean, that stuff was great.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
But it was just a different type of, it's more blues.
It was very steeped in blues. Yep.
And then you throw in Bob Welch in there in between.
Yeah. That's right. And
Since we're going down that rabbit hole, it reminds me of Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty. They were big buddies and done concerts together. But I'll tell you, I think way back, Rick, back here in football season, we talked. I'm a Florida Gator by injection. My buddies in South Florida, Florida Gators, and they disliked Miami Hurricanes as much as I did. And Roy Bayless was a Gator, Park
That's
Gator.
a
I
name
think
I
one of
haven't
his
heard in a
degrees.
while.
Roy was my high school football coach, and Roy and I worked together. We were Farm Bureau agents. It's where I met Ron Shelburne.
Big Ron. Ron's going to be there, by the way. He told me
Big
he's going to
Ron.
be there at the bash. So,
But he was tied to them. Anyway, I had a little bit of tie to the Gators, so I go to the game every year. Well, after Petty, either right before or after Tom Petty died, they started doing at the end of the third quarter, like the Hokies do the hokey pokey and the end zone and all. They do Tom Petty,
Won't back
Tom
down.
Petty's I Won't Back Down. And the whole crowd cuts their phones on, does all that, and I may give you chill bumps. It just everybody's singing I Won't Back Down. Standing up against the gates of hell, I won't back down. And it's the swamp's kind of a special place anyway.
Yeah.
But
last time I saw Petty, I saw him at the Locken Festival in Nelson County. And that was a big deal for a while in Nelson County. I was an hour away. 1 year, there's a band, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of them, String Cheese Incident. And they're a good, they play a lot of the festivals. They play the Bonnaroos and they play the Floyd Fest. They're a big festival band, really good band. But they would get, 1 year they got Cool in the Game.
oh, that's
And
a
they
good
were
hit.
the backing band for, and they called it, I forget what they called it, but it was String Cheese Incident, the backing band for Cool in the Game. And then the next year, they got the Doobie Brothers. They got Tom Johnston and Patrick Simmons. And then they were the backing band, and all they did was play Doobie songs at Lock, and it was incredible. I mean, there's another band, Widespread Panic.
Yeah, that's
they
Richie
did.
Davis's favorite band.
And they did, they had Ann Wilson, and they did all Heart songs.
I'll be back in a
Ann
second,
Wilson
guys. My
singing
son's
with them.
calling.
Morris, did you
I think he cut you off, but I think he cut us off.
okay. So you can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Gives me a good time to go get a drink. Oh, yeah, he had to go get his cat. Creed is his cat. The one I told you found in the bag. This was that or his son. And it was Cindy come over.
I didn't ask her because I wasn't sure what we're doing. It was so late. Maybe we'll go from there.
I don't like her.
Okay, then.
Well, no, we can't tomorrow night. We're going to Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's tomorrow night.
Son call interrupt us there. That's what that was. You can hear y'all, but y'all can't. Did we lose Morris? What happened? Did we lose everybody?
He went to get a drink.
Oh, shocked.
Make a
I'm
drink.
shocked, I tell you.
Rick, tell me about your comic book collection.
Wow. Well, that goes back to when I was a little guy. Whenever we worked on the farm, we'd come back. It was either baseball, football cards, or comic books. So it was always nice distraction. So I carried that in, kept a lot. I lost a lot when I moved out, but I kept some. And I got back into it several years ago because it just reminds you of that time, right? It just and now it's a big time booming business, man. It's crazy. So I got some golden age, lots of silver age, copper age. I mean, I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff through all. More of a Marvel guy than a DC guy. Now you're a comics guy, right?
I have 8 sisters and brothers, all older.
Can't hear you.
And there's a 7-year gap in between. There's a 7-year gap in between my next one. Morris can't hear anything.
Morris can't hear us? Uh-oh. We
No.
can hear each other. Morris,
Can you hear me now?
we can hear you.
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, okay.
And
I hear you. I don't hear David.
You don't hear David? I hear David loud and clear.
It's
David's
good stuff. I hate you missing this.
Yeah, David's working down here.
But
yeah,
I inherited
I can't hear him.
all
I
their
guess you guys
books.
can hear me.
I inherited
Morris, go out and come back. That usually fixes it. Go back and hit that link and come back. That
okay.
See if that works.
I inherited all their books, which was some golden age from the 50s and early 60s. And then
I got to learn like Will Stewart how to do that with my glasses, not messing things up.
Let me do this.
Hang on one.
Okay. All right, there we go.
And so anyway, and then I bought my first one in 1966.
Justice League of America, sweet.
Solomon Grundy, and of course you always got to put Batman 66. Batman always had to be on the damn thing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You got us now, Morris?
I do.
All right, there we go.
That worked.
I would sit there and I would blackmail my dad. We would always go on Fridays to grocery shopping. He did all the grocery shopping, and he would buy his alcohol for the weekend. And it was always, don't tell your mother. I'm like, okay. And that's it. And I would stock up on my comic books and cards. Plus, I'd inherited a ton. Well, long story short, by the time, and then I traded with friends, inherited a lot of their collections in the neighborhood. I had romance comics from my sisters. I had Archie collection from a lot of my sisters and stuff. I had, of course, DC was my gig. And,
you like DC, okay.
And I was buying Spider-Mans like crazy. Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain America. There were some Marvel that were too, like the Thor, Asgard stuff. That was a little bit too much for me at the time, especially when Kirby was inking everything. But I liked his stuff with Fantastic Four and all that.
Oh,
well, anyway, I stopped about 1975, probably 15 years old, and kept all my stuff. And then in the 90s, one of the cats that I traded with had moved to Naras, and he was registering his kid in school. And this guy had the massive collection. He had all the Mad magazines. He had the famous Monsters of Filmland magazine.
Yeah,
He had inherited a ton from, and I mean, he had thousands. And I would try, and when I would go to his house, and I'm 9 years old, 8 years old, I thought I was in heaven. And so anyway, he still had that whole collection. He had gotten into some financial issues, and he said, "You want to buy my collection?" And I said, "Well, I don't know that I can afford it. I've got a kid, and I got another one on the way." He said, "I'll sell you everything for $500."
Oh my goodness gracious!
I bought the whole thing. So I added mine, which gave me about 3,000 something.
Wow.
Before I moved out of my house, that was when they first started coming out with backing boards and bags. And I bagged everything and boxed them up and put them away. Well, having kids and everything, I started talking to a guy online, or no, it wasn't online. This was way before online. I started talking to a guy. I went to Roanoke to a small show and started talking to this cat, and he was from Christiansburg. He was from Texas. And over a year's time, we were talking. He saw basically my collection, and we were negotiating. And we came to a number, and I knew the number, and I had a student teacher at my school at the time and everything. And I was telling him about it. And I said, I sort of hate to part with them. I said, even though I'm not a comic book reader or anything anymore. Sure, I said, it's just, it brings you back to a certain point in time.
Absolutely.
And he said, why don't you scan them? And I said, number one, I'm old and dumb. And number two, how long would that take? He said, I'll scan them for you if you pay me. Well, I paid this guy $500. He scanned everything I had, front and back. I sold the collection. I met the guy in Atlanta at the Comic-Con in Atlanta. in 2008. And I tickled the death out of me too, because I got to meet Julie Adams, and she was the chick in Creature from Black Lagoon in the white bathing suit. You know?
Oh, really?
Of course, she was in her 80s when I met her, but I didn't care. Still Julie Adams. You know, that's one of my favorite all-time movies.
That's cool.
I sold the collection, and that was used to fund my daughter's first 2 years at JMU.
So it worked out great.
Yeah, and he scanned everything, and in my Kindle Fire here, I have
it's got props, man. This is great.
Every comic book I ever owned
that you used to have too. That you used to have that. Yeah, that's cool.
And
wow,
and the Playboys.
Well, I mean. Yeah,
because I inherited my brother's Playboy. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, inherit.
I wasn't getting a subscription at 13 years old, or at 9 years old.
He segued right through that real good, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, but it is fun. It's a different time, and I always just was so captivated by the artwork. Kirby in particular. I have a Kirby autograph.
Kirby, did you meet him? Or did you?
No, I did not. This was cool. I found one of my old books. I was rebagging and boarding them. This happened a few months ago, and I just took it down to Heroes Con. It's one of the reasons I went to get it. Oh. You know, I took it to CGC.
Oh, okay.
To get it authenticated, because I was like, but a lot of those artists would draw, or the writers would put on the first page. They'd sign it. They did that a lot, DC and Marvel in particular. So I was going through the books, and I just happened to almost drop the book. It was almost like God was saying, the king has done something for you here. And when the page flew open, I saw writing at the bottom. And I'm like, it says, I'll go get it here in a second. It says, best wishes, Jack Kirby. So I'm freaking out, you know. I'm like, and then I started looking up all this stuff about how the artists would do that. And they showed examples, and it looked just like it. So I took it down and got it authenticated. So
how are you on the big Marvel debate on that? Kirby,
which one?
Or Stan Lee?
Wow.
Who was the mastermind?
Kirby never got the credit for being the mastermind he was as a writer, but Stan brought it all together as the marketer, as the salesman, but also he's the one who came up with all those divine mindsets, but Kirby was the one who created it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Stan, the Fantastic Four was all Stan's mind, but Kirby was the one who told him what he meant. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
here's what it should look like. So, but Kirby got screwed over with the credits. There's no doubt about it. I never understood why they couldn't.
The estate, his family should be reaping right now. I mean,
I know,
all that. Who's your second favorite artist? We know Kirby's your favorite.
My second favorite, probably John Romita Sr. I have the first book he did for Marvel, which is Daredevil 16. I loved what his Spider-Man. Steve Ditko, those Spider-Man artists were probably the ones who stood out the most to me. I met J.R. Jr. I got a signed book, the Twin Towers book, the black cover. He signed and drew a little thing on there. But
did you ever delve into the other Ditko stuff in Charlton and all that?
I have a couple of the Charltons. I do.
Blue Beetles.
I do. I have some of the Charlton. Okay. Neil Adams was unbelievable.
Neil Adams is definitely up there. Yes, my favorite was Carmine Infantino.
Mm-hmm.
He saved Batman.
I think
Batman
he did.
Was getting ready to be trashed.
No, he did.
And he saved Batman.
Oh, it's fine.
That
actually may help.
It's huge.
All right,
just
we're
so many
horse here. We got to get back on music or something.
Before it's not even comic book.
Here's one for you. If I'm not.
Van Halen and Boston. Wow.
And Hart.
Boston and Hart.
That's at the Cotton Bowl.
Wow, that's a trifecta
Texas,
right there.
I was at Ferrum, my second year, girlfriend and I, we had planned this for a while. I'd gotten the tickets. I was driving an 72 Oldsmobile.
I saved some, mostly for
We drove from Christiansburg to Dallas. We took a tent, bought peanut butter, bread, and that was about it. And the peanut butter and bread basically lasted longer than the love did. But the show was excellent.
But the show was good. The show was good.
It was hotter than hell.
By the way, Coach, I don't mean to get in your personal life, but you're drinking what, bourbon neat?
Yes.
I thought you were doing. I'm surprised you're still on the screen.
It's the same. It's the same glass. I haven't.
I'm talking about the glass. I was talking about what you're pouring in.
No. It's the same.
Same one you started with. Yeah,
same pour. I've been sipping on the same one the whole time.
What's that over your left shoulder there? It looks like some good bourbon or something there.
Oh, yeah. This is the
Pappy Van Winkle?
Van Winkle. That's cool.
That's
not Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah.
It's Pappy Van Winkle.
That's 10-year-old Pappy.
A bottle.
And
it's some of the most expensive bourbon you can buy.
That's 12-year-old Pappy. This bottle, I got this bottle in 2009, and I've had a couple, but this one I got in 2009. It's toasted 3 state football championships with the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's toasted 3 college graduations with my daughters. And it toasted my oldest daughter's wedding last week with my new son-in-law, Brian Mann. He's a Parisburg. He played at Giles, the all-time leading rusher at Giles High. And it will be, my youngest is working on her doctorate, which she will get next year, and it will toast that. And then she's getting married 2 weeks after that. So that's what's going to be. So this bottle's pretty special.
That's where Chris is.
Pappy Van Winkle bottle. Pappy Van Winkle is probably, you know more than I, but it's probably what, $1,500 a bottle.
If you get them in if you can get them in Virginia, MSR, $250 to $400, but it's the resale. And you're not going to get lucky enough to get one in Virginia. You might win one in the lottery. And they actually dropped some of the family reserve stuff a couple weeks ago. And they had like one bottle. I'll tell you, interesting story. They have what's called luxury bottles. And Radford had a luxury bottle, and they advertised it. And a guy came in and spent the night in front of the Radford ABC store. And this was 3 weeks ago for 2 nights. So he could walk in and buy a bottle of the Eagle Rare 30-year Double Eagle. He paid MSR $12,500.
Wow.
The resale is between 45 and 50 grand.
Well,
with my luck, I'd have tripped over the damn curb and the damn thing would have shattered.
Yeah, probably.
soon as you handed off the money, you're on the sidewalk.
Exactly.
Wow. Imagine just being able to do that, right? Say that, okay, how much? Yeah, let me have that bottle.
It almost makes me think too that maybe he was representative of a group of people, maybe.
Yeah, well.
Where they came up with the 12 and a half. They knew it was there.
Yep.
I would almost have to think that, because if you've got $12,500 to blow, why are you going to spend the night, 2 nights in front of an ABC store in a small?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Town?
That makes sense.
I don't know. But why do I sit in line for 4 hours a shot to get whatever? Which I did for 3 straight days 3 weeks ago. So
yeah, if I'm drinking whiskey, I like single malt Scotch whiskey, and I have some expensive bottles of those. But If you go to Pappy Van Winkle, you're going uptown.
If you get that, well, the bottle of Pappy to get to that 23 year. If you can get to 23 year, that's probably going to be an 8 to 12 gram bottle.
Yep.
If you get it, and I have tasted 23 year, and it's incredible.
Worth
it's
every
incredible.
1,000. Jen's got y'all should see her bourbon collection. It is very impressive. She's gotten them from all over the world. I mean, it's really nice. If she comes to the bash, we'll have to get her to talk about it, tell you guys about it, because you'll have a lot in common there.
My stuff is more the harder to get Buffalo Trace products, because all of it is Buffalo Trace. Pappy, most all these things I get are Buffalo Trace and all that. It's like you said, her stuff, she gets them from everywhere.
Yeah, and wherever she is, she tries to get one.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, you were talking before about Coach Ragsdale, and he gets on there, and once he gets that gets that mound rolling and cogs going and all that, he goes forever. But I tell you, another guy's Coach Elmo, when he gets going, and I think we talked about it in last week on the Pop, and when he gets going. It just the stories and the specific people, players, and play a specific play or something in a big game or whatever. He's got all that stashed, and dude, I don't know about you guys. My memory is not what it used to be.
I know that except me either.
It.
I know he and Rags both, and I do that. Coach, you probably the same way. I don't know, but you've got a good memory. You remember, but yeah, with Elmo specifically. I don't know how in the world he can. It's crazy. Every play he remembers.
I'll tell you something about Coach Elmation. He came my second year at Ferrum, and by that time I had gotten away from the football program. I was basically more or less. I tried to play that first year, and I was just. As I said last week, and I was telling him, I got the crap beat out of me, and I was out of my league. I was because it was the Prop 48 school. So all these cats that were going to Oklahoma and Alabama would get these kids, and then they'd send them to Ferrum. And they'd go to Ferrum for 2 years, and then they were going straight back to whatever big school it was, as long as they could get their grades and stuff up. But with Coach Elmation, I coached, and Morris, you know Jeff Williams.
I do.
And I coached with Jeff. I love Jeff. Jeff is just a great guy. I consider him one of my better friends in this whole coaching profession. And he coached with us at Narrows for 4 years, in between his stints at Giles. And every day, it was a Phil Elmation quote. There was a Phil Elmation drill. And he would talk about just what a great man Phil Elmation was. Jeff played at Tech. He walked on. He's one of these kids, didn't have a D1 body, didn't have D1 speed or anything like that, but it was his dream to play at Virginia Tech. And he went and he played and busted his ass. I just knowing Waterhead like I know him, just busted his ass every day. And from what I've heard, I think I've heard somewhere Phil Elmation talk about Jeff Williams and just what he thought of Jeff and the effort that he put in, knowing he wasn't going to be playing in a lot of big games and stuff like that. And Jeff Williams just nothing but great things to say about Coach Elmation.
Coach Beamer and Coach Foster both said without him being there when he was there, the whole thing never would have come together. And Coach Beamer was telling me about Coach Elmo. I didn't know who the hell he was. This was back, when the show was running in the early 2000s. Coach Beamer was on every week. I didn't know Phil Elmation's name, And I'm like, oh, how great is it now that we're having him on all the time? And this is that guy that was there to turn the whole culture around in black. He's exactly what they needed at that time.
I remember when he came in '92. I think it was. He came from Syracuse. And I remember when it came, and I remember talking to. That's when they let Beamer had the ultimatum. He let
Yep.
Creekmore and Duke Strager go, and I like Creek and Duke as well.
Yeah.
Knew them
Yeah.
well.
That killed Frank.
Um,
That killed him.
but when Elmation came, that they needed discipline, and they got the right guy. They got the right guy because I remember. I can't remember if it was Bill Roth or who, but we were sitting in that what's the looking glass there in Blacksburg, and they got the bar upstairs. I think it was Bill Roth I met there, but anyway, we were talking about him, and uh, I said, "Man, I've heard about this Elmation guy, or whatever." And I said, "What is it?" He said, "Man," he said, "if you're in the booth with him, it's like you're in a telephone booth, and there's a damn hurricane at hit because it is going nuts." In that place, you miss a tackle, miss a play, or whatever. He said it is unbelievable what's going on in that booth.
He's the type of guy too, and if you look at his career, I'm getting this is me speculating. His coaching style is you can handle it for a certain amount of time.
Correct. He's even said that.
Yeah, and it's that style, and I understand that. But the thing is, he's coaching at the level that he wants that player to get to, and of course, doing that sometimes it wears. But the thing is, but the right players are going to respond the right way. And I'm
that makes sense.
Like I said, that's a speculative thing on my part. But the thing is, it's not that he went from school to school. Hell, look at the schools he went to. These schools did their homework. They knew what they were getting, and the big boys went after him.
Yeah, you look at all the stops he's been, it looks like a scroll out of the Old Testament or something.
It does. It does. Well, he's been he just happened to stumble across the show one day. It just popped up on his mentions, and then boom, the rest is history. So it's been great. It's been great.
Have you started? I just noticed something with your show. I'm getting ads, a lot of ads now.
Yeah,
so that mean you're making the big money now?
Not big money. I'm making some. This damn studio is so expensive. It's been tough to keep going, but it helps. Yeah, we get so many views and then rewatches, and that's what's been big. The amount of time. Yeah, so YouTube just implements that by themselves. So I know it annoys some people, but you can fast forward, on rewatches and stuff. But yeah, I don't want to take them off because it does. It's going to start to give me a little bit of capital.
I haven't seen an ED pill or anything like that advertised yet. So
I don't know what they're putting on there.
Yeah,
pretty soon that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
You definitely don't want to take it off if it's making you money.
It won't make a lot, but it'll make some. And that's.
But I noticed today the ad went split screen. Did you do that?
No.
Before the ad would completely block everything out. Now the ad goes split screen like we are. And you can still see, but you can't hear anything.
Gotcha.
But it's only 20 seconds, 15 seconds.
It doesn't
like
last long. Yeah,
quick.
Exactly. Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
The only annoying thing about it to me is, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like when the ad comes on and then you can hit skip after a little bit of the ad and hit skip and come back, but then you miss that little 5 second, 10 second, or whatever. Like if Rick's talking to Elmo, you miss that. You would have to go back and watch.
You have to go back, yeah, and that's part of their plan. That's part of their thing. So
if you're making money, Rick, I'm with you, buddy.
Well, it won't. Like it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing. So it's good. So eventually, hopefully, now that's how people are making it on here. It's amazing the kind of money that some of these folks, but they've got millions of followers and views, and they're making just bank. It's crazy. It's crazy what people are making.
It's tough. It's tough I would think, and I'm sort of in the same boat, not quite. You're on a daily show, live show rotation, but it's tough when you're doing a regional based
It
show.
is. It's tougher, right? It is.
But by the same token, with what you're doing, I would think your numbers are really
good. Because we cover all of college football. We do focus on obviously Tech and ACC and Southeast, but we try to be out with David and the NFL. David covers the NFL better than anybody. I mean, I'm biased, but you're not going to find anybody who does it better than him.
Yeah, so no question.
We've got that covered. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Now, would he be doing all that if he wasn't on your show? Does he do something? Does he do that at for someone else?
No, this is his outlet with me, and I'm very glad, very, very glad that that's the case. But
it's like him with the NFL, and also Keon with NBA. I mean, Keon's excellent with the NBA.
I know.
Oh, you've got good people. The thing is,
and we started to add the shorts too. Yeah,
it takes a while if you don't know the people you have. It takes a while watching the show to get. It's like drinking bourbon. Then you're like, that's pretty daggone good.
I know. Exactly.
But yeah, it's you definitely got very good regular guests on there and everything. And hats off to you. Hats off to you for that.
Thanks, man. Well, they're good. What's up, Axel? Welcome. And we're going to. I'm going to try to branch out. I wish I could do this full time. Like I wish I made enough to make this that I could. Do like the stuff for Radford, just do the games part time and this be my main thing. But it's flipped around to where this is just when I have a little bit of time to do this. But we're getting there. Hasn't been a year yet, so crazy.
Speaking of Radford, did you see where Mark Lindenberg stepped down and took the superintendent job in Mecklenburg County and stepped down from the Brookville coaching job?
Not real surprised, given all the smoke that's coming out of there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And there's the thing is, Mark's. I've known Mark a little bit, and he's a different cat too. I like him. He's very. Football is not his only interest.
Correct. What did you think of the Blacksburg hire?
I don't know the guy, but I know Zach Leonard backed him, and I do know Zach Leonard, and I have much respect for Zach Leonard.
Zach's a hell of a coach, yeah.
And he, and he took the Fleming job, and and I didn't realize this. All the time I talked to Zach and everything, did not realize he was driving from Roanoke to Blacksburg every day.
I know.
And so yeah, I'm happy for him with that.
Yep.
Dave Chris, you think he'll be able to show up, Rick?
I don't know. I'm going to reach out to Bob about it. His brother, I think his brother's going to show up. He's the Ready Set Fund sponsor. So I would love for Dave Chris. He looks great, by the way. He did the Blacksburg rundown at the Blacksburg Sports Club. What a great gentleman, man. What a great coach, but what a good person Dave Chris is. Good Lord. Just
sure is.
If you look at the Ragsdale, Winfred, Dave Christ.
It's just
those three, you can't find any nicer people.
You can't.
At all.
Winfred Beal is just a treasure.
Oh.
Hey, we need to get Winfred out there. He's one of the, I don't mean this to be flippant, but he's one of the few that's left from that era, man. And we need to get, I wish maybe we get him. I'm going to reach out to him.
I've got a digital thing. I'll have to dig it up sometime of, we're on your show in like 95 or 96. It's Winfred and I and you.
Yeah.
Morning, and we're doing a playoff preview thing. I told my daughters, I said we could play a drinking game for every time I said every time I say
That's cool you have that. Unfortunately, I don't have any of my old stuff, man. They got wiped out in the old computers that got sold through the stations. I got some old games on cassette, but I don't have any of those old interviews, man. I wish I still had all that.
You remember coming to my house and doing the preview for the highlight tape and
the highlight? Yeah, I do. I do remember that. Yeah. God, that's a long time ago.
So look at that, and you're not getting any residuals off of it.
No, I'm not a dime. Come on, man.
Hopefully, I don't get a lawyer call Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think it's on Three Rings Football somewhere.
Mr. Mayor.
Bastards.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Looking forward to it. I think the bash is word's starting to get out. Like I just thought Tebow's going to be there. Prometheus, I hope you can show up on the 18th. By the way, Prometheus, how's your wife doing? I know one thing, and Prometheus, you probably know too. The new Blacksburg coach is one of us. He's old school. He's an old school believer in how football should be played, and hopefully that'll transfer over. Because Blacksburg's on the rise a little bit now. Coach Leonard, he finally got it turned around. He's got interest back up. So
he stepped into a rough situation,
a minefield, man. But he got him back in the playoffs. I mean, he's good. He's a good one.
When I had that first conversation with him, I was like, okay, this is definitely the cat they need. He's because I could also tell he's a teacher, and a lot of these kids today, especially, that's what they need. They need
absolutely
anything. It needs
and they want to be
bird dog to them. Yeah,
right.
Teacher, which I think you're I could translate that into a good ass kicking every now and then.
I wouldn't cross him. But I never saw that in him. But he's a pretty big guy, and you can tell he knows where the weight room is. You could tell by looking at him, but he's very soft spoken, and you could tell he was just started asking me questions. He wanted to be the sponge. He wanted to just take in everything, and anything that was worth something, you could tell he was going to file it. And if it wasn't worth anything, he was going to toss it, which is what the good ones do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I remember, Rick, the first time that Rags and Marty came on, and Rags was having the trouble with that computer, and Marty was on there, and you said something about, well, maybe I'll say something to Rags coming on, or he's on late or whatever. And Marty says, you tell him. I'm damn sure not telling him.
He said, I'm not going to say anything to Coach.
I ain't telling him nothing.
Still with that same.
Morris, you remember these? Coke bottle.
I do.
Dick Butkus. Oh, that's awesome. Old Coke lid. That's cool.
I'll be darned.
Oh, I've got
you got some good memorabilia going on.
I know, man. Hey, there you go.
You might even remember this, Morris. When you packed your lunch when you were going to school. You know what that is?
Now, whatever reason I do remember that.
What is that? Now, I don't know that at all.
The Frito Bandito eraser.
Frito.
And you would buy the lunch pack of Fritos,
Sure,
and you got the eraser with them.
Oh, that's
totally forgot about that. You're right.
Unused. That's awesome.
Probably one of the most racist commercials that's ever been made. And it was over the Frito Bandito.
Yeah, probably so. Very cool. Very cool.
Wow,
agreed.
That
brings
back a memory. Holy crap!
And I've got my Kellogg's football game from Pop Tarts. You had if you use this field.
Oh, that's awesome!
And you had it, and you use a deck of cards, and it came in a box of Pop Tarts.
And you moved down the field with the cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you would have a turnover or whatever.
I had electric football. the Tudor electric football games, and you remember talking football, the discs?
Yes.
Yeah, those were great.
You were probably when the electronic thing came out in the late 70s, about 78,
yeah.
79, whatever.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, it was just like you couldn't believe it. You're like, wow.
God, bought boxes of cereal, boxes and boxes of cereal. And then I would sneak it out. We had a horse field beside our house. And I would go over just so my dad would say, God, how'd you eat that whole box of cereal so fast? Well, I'd feed half of it to the horses so we could go get another box of cornflakes. So I could get another card out of the damn cornflakes. Get the 3D card.
Love the 3D cards, man. Those were the best in the world. The toys and the cereal were so much better. I mean, it was so cool.
Cut records off the back of cereal boxes, the Monkeys and the Archies and the Partridge Family and all that.
Remember that too, yeah.
Yeah, Coach Chris he could be stern. Yeah. I did Blacksburg for 2 years, man. And you'd go over to practice. When it was time, baby.
So are you going to be the play-by-play man for Blacksburg now?
I will not. We're going to carry the games. We will have two gentlemen from Bill Ross' program, the SMA program. Matter of fact, I got demos today. I've been talking to Bill. They're excited. Tech's going to work with us on this. It's going to be really cool. Yeah.
When you say we're, who is that? You say we will be carrying.
I just say we. I guess the channel here on the channel. I guess I will be carrying.
It's going to be a part. It's going to be a part of Big Dog Sports.
Yeah, it'll be right here. It'll be the audio only because we're not allowed to do the video, which is fine. But sponsors will be able to sell them on their ads. Will be running. They're going to do stand-up interviews, pre-game and post-game. They can do, and halftime they can come on camera, but we can't show any of the game action. But this way people can find them like they could on the radio. It's the same thing. And here you don't have to worry about a radio frequency. You can just go on your computer.
But there's no local radio that does Blacksburg High School football?
No, they're the only one of significant, if you will. Everybody else has got radio. Even Floyd has radio. George Wyth's on radio. Pulaski, Christiansburg, Radford.
Giles is, I think.
Giles is on radio. Narrows has so in Blacksburg, the biggest high school in the area, and they don't have any radio coverage now because the ESPN radio went defunct. So we're picking them up and we're excited.
I did that for 4 years after I got out of football at Alta Vista, and I did it for 4 years at Alta Vista with I was sort of the color guy, and Kyle Haney did the play-by-play. And we actually won some awards. I don't know what they were. Kyle said, "Hey, we won some awards." I was like, "Great." I don't have any awards here to show though. We're Marconi's or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be good. Blacksburg's very excited, and Bill Ross really excited. So we'll see what this thing turns out to be. It's got to get it sold now. Got to get some sponsors on it. But I don't think that'll be a problem because I think businesses in Blacksburg will appreciate the fact somebody's putting their kids on the air, right?
Find the businesses that are being run by former Blacksburg High School football players.
100%. Hey, your program now has got some presence. And they went to the playoffs, and I think there's excitement around the program. New coach. Here the numbers are good now, finally. So,
well, the new guy needs to listen to the Ragsdale stuff about when he first came to Giles. Going into the town and talking to the all the merchants and stuff like that.
Supposed to meet him next week.
Over the job.
Yes. Supposed to meet him next week and let him know what we're doing. We got a meeting with him and the AD. So,
yeah, but you said, Rick, all the Blacksburg games are all audio, but so are the other schools around Radford, Nares, Giles. They're on the radio. They're not. You don't have any video.
No, because the NA. What is it? Work. NFHS has the rights to that, the VHSL. And plus, you'd have to have camera people. Even if you could, you couldn't because you couldn't do it the right way. You couldn't sit there with a hand phone and try to do that. I wouldn't do that on this channel.
We were in practice 2 years ago, my last year coaching at Nares here. And Jason Buckland, who's our defensive coordinator, he played for me, and then he played at Tech a little bit and everything. But he was sitting there, and he said, "You know the Blacksburg coach pretty well, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, you might want to call him. I said, his practice is on the NFHS network right now. And apparently there was a game, a middle school game or something scheduled, and it got postponed. And then they took the team out, but the cameras cut on automatically. You know, the coaches don't have anything to do with it. And the cameras cut on at a certain time. It's all like computerized. And so here he is running his practice, and the whole practice is being broadcast over the NFHS network. So I was like, I called Zach up. I said, hey, you might want to do something with that camera, because I said everybody's watching your practice right now.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Coaches probably wouldn't like it, but yeah, it makes sense to me. And I actually got the idea from some other channels I saw. A lot of places are doing that. They just put the audio on, and you don't have to worry about running out of frequency. People can in their cars can just if they're out of town, like if they're in another state and they played there, like you mentioned, Coach. I mean, hey, let's listen to my alma mater. I can just go on YouTube now, turn the game on, So instead of having to find a radio stream that may or may not actually work, here we know it's going to work, and we'll have good people doing it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
God, I tell you what, it's a small world. Seems like every time we talk about something, I know somebody from somewhere or something, but Jason Buckland, I ended up building a cabin over in Newport. So, and Prometheus has helped and give me referrals and stuff. So I had to get a little bit of legal work done there. And then we have some trust stuff down here and all that's got to coordinate with Virginia law. And so anyway, I found Jason Buckland. Didn't know who he was or anything else. But I ended up spending more time sitting in his office when I talked to him about football. Found out he went to Tech, and then he went to Wake Forest for law school. So he's by far no dummy, and but great guy.
I've had Jason in school when he was yay high. Taught him how to jump rope, which ended up being beneficial later. He played a defensive end for us on our team. Went to the state in '94. Was stud buzzer. I mean, just strong, that farm boy strength. And you got to understand with him, this was a kid that was getting up at 4 a.m, do his farm type chores, get on a bus and go to governor's school in Pulaski County, come back, do the full school day, do football practice, and then go home, study, do whatever, and then repeat, the next day.
Yep.
And his dream was to go play for Tech. He had a lot of academic offers, just academic places to go, but his dream was always to go and play football at Tech. And he walked on at Tech, and he has 4 bowl rings. He played during that era, and just one of the nicest individuals you will meet.
Sure is. I promised him if I could ever get that cabin done, that me and him would drink beer on the back patio someday.
No, he'll drink it with you.
Yeah, he told me his favorite section was, I think, Food Line or something going home in that beer section.
As long as
we got to talking about beer. Yeah, super guy. Nice guy.
Well, Morris, if I don't thank you enough, thank you for everything you've done to help make this work out with the Super Bowl, man. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. So
it's been finding out. I don't know where Hokey Bob retired, and he went radio silent or off the reservation. I got to call Bob.
Yeah, we got to get Bob over there. Bob's a big fan of the show. I've known Bob since the first day we did radio back in 2001.
He'll be there. I'll call him. He'll be there.
Yeah,
but he's the one. I've known Bob a long time through Virginia Tech Development, and he worked in charitable giving or the big donor giving. And I've known him a long time. Not that I was a big donor, but I've known Bob through that. And so I'm talking to him one day, and he said, Morris, you got to go on this Big Dog Sports Talk. Rick Watson just started it. I guess I used to jog around the Fort Lauderdale Airport, and I downloaded and listened to you on WRAD in the mornings.
Yeah,
I think it was WRAD. But I go around and there's no interaction, but I would listen and you'd have guests on and all that. Was it WRAD? I think
Yeah,
it was.
It was. And then the bear
Uh,
toward the end. Yeah.
and you'd have different guests. You have commentary, obviously, and other stuff, but listen to you there. And then, like I said, talking to Bob one day and said, well, you didn't have the radio show, but you got to listen to this podcast. And that was right about the time he started it, I think. And I've been hooked ever since because you got to understand down here in Florida, I get nothing of Virginia Tech unless I go online,
Yeah.
read Tech or
Right.
Tech's online or what. I get none of that. So this has been a blessing to me because all this stuff you talk about and all the old New River Valley and the high school stuff and all, it brings back great memories and interacts. Names come up sometime that I hadn't thought about in years. And it's been a blessing. It really has.
Well, it's our area is special, and I think we need to promote it. Like other places just promote where they are. Well, this place doesn't get nearly enough credit where we all grew up, for whatever.
Yep.
I mean, not only the people, but the sports, everything, the culture here, everything else, man. It's just, and everybody who comes here talks about how beautiful it is. I mean, my wife's family just left, and they're just like, wow. They're sitting in the backyard. I have a really big backyard. That's where we did the wedding, and they're just like, because they live in these very nice neighborhoods, but everything is exactly the same. Mailboxes look exactly the same. Street lights look cookie cutter. And the houses are, big houses. Right. They come in here, they're watching the backyard, and they're just sitting there going, listen. And all of a sudden, here come, we get, 15, 20 deer in the evening, right? Come through the fence line. And there they come, and they're just amazed. And they're just, I'm just like, wow, you don't think about that when you see other people react to this area and just the simple things like that, and it's a reminder we do have it very fortunate here where we are. We really
Where
do.
did your in-laws come from?
Texas and Louisiana, Dallas and Bossier City.
Bossier City.
That's where she's from. Yeah. Unfortunately, her mom passed a few months ago before we were able to, but yeah. So, but yeah,
I remember
they're the pure,
happened.
the southern people.
Jambalaya girl.
But yeah, Jambalaya girl. That's right.
I got my first coaching job and teaching job in Southampton County, and I was there for 2 years. And I was at that age where, once I graduated, I wanted to get the hell out. And I got out and it took 2 years. I said, I've got to get back closer to home. And I talked to Winfred a little bit and thought maybe something would open up at Floyd County. And then I got a call from Bill Patterson at Naris. And Bill has a way of, and Morris, you probably know this, Bill had a way of, when he said something, you pretty much followed what he said.
He was going to get what he wanted.
Yes, he could put it very plainly, but just a wiry old man. But I was intimidated. He'd wave that finger.
How much of it when we played how much of it was just utter fear of our head coaches? I mean, Coach Hicks, that's all it was. The fear of not living up to why you were there was the biggest motivation I ever had every day. Nothing else mattered. It was just, oh my God, if I go in here and suck, then I'm out of here, or it's gonna be over, right?
Well, he had that, and he had that booming voice too.
Yeah, he did.
And that gravelly thing. That's why Winfred is such a different cat, because he has that booming voice, and you think, Jesus Christ, this guy's going to just knock the crap out of me if I do something wrong. And couldn't be farther from the truth. And like with Joel, I'm sure, and I don't know it firsthand, but I'm sure once he said something, you did it. And Bill Patterson was the opposite of that. Bill Patterson was a wiry, older-looking gentleman, and I'll tell you this: my interview. Well, it wasn't my interview. It was I was coaching, and the track coach had gotten sick, and so I'm walking down the hall. I was teaching at the elementary school, and I'm walking down the hall to go to football workouts in the weight room, and all of a sudden I hear, "David, come here." Yes, sir. What do you know about track? Nothing. He said, "We'll buy you a GD book because you're the new damn track coach." I was now the track coach. And I said, "Yes, sir."
Okay.
No more wanted it than the man in the moon. There was no way I was going to tell that man no.
Well, the good thing was it was before hip hop, because if it had been after hip hop, he would have ended with bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He, but, you know, and like I said, you look at him from a distance, and the thing is, he was like that, and you didn't want to make him mad. When I went to Alta Vista and we won our first state title, Patrick Bailey, his grandson, called me. And we were going to Mike Sharness's house to celebrate afterwards. And I get the call from Patrick, and Patrick says, "Hold on, Granddad wants to talk to you." And Bill was, and I mean, I teared up. I just teared up, you know, and that's how much. And, you know, so even though they were gruff and intimidating and everything else, and I'm sure you're the same way with Joel Hicks, it was just that respect. And then when they reach out to you like that, and that hit me. And my daughters are looking at me, "Dad, why are you crying? You should be happy." I said, I am.
That's why I'm crying. Correct. Yeah. Trust me.
Two questions for you guys. When did Joel Hicks get to Pulaski County?
80? Was it 80 or 79?
Yeah, 79, I think. Yeah. Was that not the first year? Yeah, it was that Dave Brown got run at. Well, Dave Brown was ready to go. But, yeah, I want to say 79, 80. Yeah.
Had to have been, because I graduated Jaws in 78.
The Miracle on Slaughterhouse Road. Let me see.
But I just remember after Joel Hicks took over, talking about a transformation of a program. And I'm pretty sure he got all that stuff built too. He got the boosters and to put more money into it and all that.
79.
And then the New River Valley, the New River Valley district, I mean, it's small compared to Pulaski, because they were playing in a bigger division, in a bigger stadium and all that stuff. And Dave did in 94 or whenever that was, did Nares win a state championship with Patterson then?
No. Coach Patterson stopped coaching in 85. And we didn't win the state in 94. We lost to Appalachia. Appalachia was single A. Quarterback was Travis Turner. And, of course, Tommy Turner was the coach. Travis Turner, now very famous. But that team was rated in like the top 50 in the country as a single A school. And
wow.
They had like 300 pounders across the line, and they put 300. They were running power eye stuff, and they put 300 pounders as fullback and power eye back in the backfield. And they beat us 32-16, something like that. And then they beat Middlesex the next week 78-0.
I was getting ready to say, whatever you get beat by, if they're doing that in single A, you aren't the only ones.
And you figure, and they're playing Powell Valley, you know, they're in the same league with Powell Valley and playing them, and they have wars. The Powell Valley Appalachia games were just brutal.
That was first district title. The guy whose hand he's holding behind Johnny Myers is me. See my head there above Johnny's shoulder, number 45? Yeah. Right. That's me. That's Jack Turner. And that's Michael J. Smith.
Never underestimate your importance in that picture.
Exactly.
If they didn't have your head, he could have fallen.
I mean, you got my head. He reached out and saw me. That's when I was just a little sophomore, and I was playing then with special teams. But hey, I contributed, baby. There you go.
You were there. You were part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you too, something I love Frank Beamer, but one of the things that will be etched in my memory forever is that period, and I think maybe I've mentioned that before, that period of Beamer. He was on Sports Illustrated about what was it? It was called, he called the special teams sweet little thing. What's that? There's Coach Hicks.
Yeah. Willis White, coach, and Coach Hickam. There you go.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow. 3 legends, man.
Oh, it's Pride and Joy. I need to get Beamer if I'm up there. If I see him again, get him to sign that. It's called Sports Illustrated, and it was on the front, had Beamer's picture and special teams in the background, and it said Pride and Joy. That's what they called the special teams. But I think I mentioned this the other day. What coach has ever had balls enough to put his best players on special teams? Most time you do scrubs or put them in on special teams. Beamer would take the best players, put those on special teams, and the block was coming. You didn't know when, but it was coming. And I just have always loved him for that. And he always had that saying, what was it? We want a good blend of offense, defense, and special teams. Don't forget about special teams. And he always had that statement too, of the best way to turn a game is on special teams.
Yeah.
You could turn a game in a second, block a punt, block a field goal, something like that. You can turn a game.
Yeah.
What a great coach. Well, we were so fortunate for 29 years to have Beamer. And I remember back in the old days where they'd stick the damn tickets in the chicken wire. And hell, you just walk into a game, you didn't need a ticket. They just stick it in the chicken wire around Lane Stadium.
Hey, in high school, being friends with Sidney Snell, you go meet him on a Saturday and just walk in behind him, act like you're handing whoever a ticket and go in, and same thing with basketball. We would always meet Sidney at the games, and because they wanted him, and they knew when he was a damn sophomore they wanted him.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
So you would get into all those games and all that stuff, and it was pretty neat. Something, Rick, you were talking about too, about the Joel stuff, and you had the picture with Hickam and all that. And I think I told you this one time before. Sadly, Dave Brown was a great coach.
He was.
But unfortunately, he's going to be remembered more for that beginning Pulaski County run than he is ever going to be probably.
I know.
What time
and it's not right,
100%.
And when I watch film of old Dublin and the offenses and stuff, he was pretty innovative for the times and everything. And my dad was a big Dave Brown advocate. He was a Dublin graduate and everything.
Absolutely,
and, he was a big Dave Brown advocate.
He was my uncle's coach. Yeah.
But everybody thought that Pulaski County, when they merged and took AAA, they thought they were going to take over the world. And I think they found out the world was a little bit stronger than
the world was big. Yep.
Yeah. The world was bigger.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought the same thing when I was a teenager. I thought, well, hell, Pulaski County will just roll over everybody,
It didn't work that way. Yeah.
I was at Blacksburg my ninth grade and sophomore year. Coach Newland was a coach there then, before Chris. But Sidney Snell was a year or two. I think he was 2 years old, 2 years ahead of me. But Sidney Snell is probably as good, if not better, basketball player than he was a football player. He'd take over a basketball game. He was a real man.
I went to the state semifinals. They played Dan River in the state semifinals, and Sydney put 49 up in the state semifinal game, and that was one of the more incredible.
Yep, there you go.
I mean, just everybody asked.
He was a man amongst boys.
Everybody asked me about the best athlete come out of New River, and again, you're going to answer that. And Rick's talked about this about different things, but you're going to answer to your era. And
correct.
To me, Sidney Snell is the best athlete to come out of the New River Valley.
That's what it is. It's your era. Yeah.
And then there's people that say, no, it's Donald Wayne. And I'm like, Donald Wayne was incredible.
He was.
But, but Sidney was something to behold in just everything he did. And the thing is, he wasn't the typical, and as he got as a senior, he got thicker, and he wasn't, and he almost looked like the normal guy, and he was still just blitzing everybody with everything.
Yeah, and who was the basketball coach? Was Trist?
Bob Trier.
Bob Trier.
Christiansburg graduate.
Yeah. Trier was a good coach.
Oh. And see, he took over for Alan Wiley.
Right.
Alan Wiley was legendary at Blacksburg. And then, of course, was Alan at Pulaski when you were there?
Yeah, he was coaching basketball. Okay. He was Ron. We got to get Ron Shelburne to tell Alan Wiley stories. Yeah, Coach Wiley stories.
Oh, yeah. He was a piece of cake. Him and his cigars.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he and Bill I would read in run at times about matchups between Bill Pattison coaching Nares and Alan Wiley coaching Blacksburg in the 60s and stuff. And Alan Wiley coached a lot of football. Coached a lot of football at Blacksburg too. Had a bunch of undefeated JV teams in the New River District and stuff. And then eventually got out of it and went 100% football. And then what was it? Pulaski had what was the cat that coached basketball at Wake Forest? I'm drawing a old guy blank here.
What year? What era?
He coached in the 80s. Wasn't Tate Slock. It was Carl Tacey. He was at Pulaski. And then Sonny Randall, of course, was at Dublin.
That's right.
Sonny Randall was on Dave Brown's staff at Dublin, and he coached basketball at Dublin.
That's right.
And then later coached Charles Barkley.
Yep. Sonny Randall. Wow. He was good on the air, too. He ended up being a color commentator. He was good. He was good on TV. He was good. Well, boys, thanks for stopping by, man. It was good again. I think we're going to keep on plugging this thing and getting it up there. So it's good. Kept it going, and it's good stuff. Great memories.
Yeah, the only reason I came on is I wanted to hear, well, obviously for you two guys, but I wanted to hear Elmo and Vic come on tonight. Those guys are
Dwight.
Yes, a really good guest. And I could sit here. I don't even have to be on here. If I can sit here and listen to Elmo and Vic and Ron Shelburne. Ron Shelburne's a storyteller. I love his stories.
If Dwight Vic and Elmo come on, I'm not pulling out and showing a comic book.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think Dwight had unexpected family come in tonight, so
we'll go straight football on that.
Yeah, we'll go straight football on that one. So yeah, he wants to actually come on and talk movies. Dwight, it's unbelievable what that guy can.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he loves it. It's his hobby after football. When he gets done with the day, movies are his thing, man. It's crazy. Yeah. He knows it all. It's insane.
Quick question for you before we go. Did you play at Giles in 1975? Were you playing football at Giles?
74. No, I was at Blacksburg then.
Okay.
JV at Blacksburg at 75.
Okay.
By the way, we had an interesting coach. This is another good story. We had Al Kincaid. Al Kincaid was a quarterback at Virginia Tech.
Right.
And Al Kincaid he had a cheerleader for a wife. She's a beautiful woman. She ended up marrying somebody else, left him out when he became a head coach at Wyoming. Uh, Al Kincaid did. And talk about mean. Next to Frank Mosley, Rick, he was somebody where you just would run the other way when you see the guy because you knew there was going to be something bad going to happen to you.
Absolutely.
But his wife would come over, and I think this is right when maybe Roy Bayless took over. But
Okay.
his wife was just a beautiful woman. You take us young boys right going through puberty and stuff, and you bring a beautiful woman like that in. But Al Kincaid, I think he had some good teams, 72, 3, 4, right in there. He had some good teams at Giles. They were never as good as what Ragsdale had, but yeah, I wasn't there then. I was in Blacksburg.
Okay. We played, that was my sophomore year, and it was a monsoon when we played in Harrisburg, and it was pretty rough.
When did you graduate Christiansburg?
78.
78, same year, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to get off here because my battery is about to go out.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well,
thanks, dude.
Hopefully your bourbon is not.
We're done for the evening. I had my little toddy, and now I'll go find some good old black and white movie to watch, and I think Key Largo might be on tonight. So
There you
watch
go.
that for about the
Can't beat
18th time.
Yeah, Karen and I are going to dinner, and we're looking for one Rick Watson and Janet to show up here sometime too. Because I always tell people when you come down here, we're going to treat you so many ways. You've got to like one of them.
Exactly. Now she's on it. She's already all over it. Yeah, I've already mentioned it to her. She wants to go to take a trip to Florida anyway. So, well, we've got a destination, so we'll figure out the rest. So
we're here, and it probably would be something we'd need another week after this to get over that week.
There you go. I like it.
All right, guys.
Boys. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
All
Thanks,
right.
Morris.
Y'all have a great weekend.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good. Great stuff. Thanks, everybody who stopped by the way. Everybody in chat. You had some good chat additions, and that's great. Thank you. Big Dawg Pop, episode 2. And it'll continue to grow and branch out. But everybody take care. Thanks for watching. I believe we're going to have some shorts up from this like we do on the other show. We'll see if it works. It damn well better. I'm paying for the. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday with the live show, 6 to 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Be good. Be proud. Take care.